Aries, I want to communicate to you something very important. When the God in you stands up in anger and vengeance with a madness and wants revenge and vengeance, know who you are. You also should know who you're not going to be if you're going to be okay. Because if you decide to go or stay with how you really feel, then first you'll accept how you really feel, or you'll spend your whole life denying it and being against yourself and refusing to feel it. If you do refuse to feel it and you spend your whole life being against yourself, you'll just be your mother, who is also often against you. If you're going to be just your mother, Aries, because if you're just your father, you won't be your mother, then you're going to be your mother because you're not your father. And Aries, if you are your father, then you're not your mother. Because if you're your mother and think you can be your father, well, then you are your father if you are, but you're not both your mother and your father. You won't be able to be both, Aries. You'll choose one and be one only, and not the other, and not because you don't want to be the other, because you'll be one and not the other, Aries. It's true. You won't be both, because you can't be both. Aries, you're the only one that can't be both your mother and your father and has to choose one over the other. And it'll also be why they'll blame you, because none of them will understand what plurality means when they only blame you for being a singular half and a singularity, which they call nothing more than a fraction of trash. Aries, if you're trash because you're just your father and you can't be your mother, you can be your mother, but then you can't be your father. So you'll feel like trash because you won't ever be able to do anything right, including anything they're all doing, which is being both mother and father. So know, Aries, and be aware that every sign in the zodiac can be their mother and father, and they could be their mother and father as their mother and father, or they could be their father and mother as their father and mother. But they can be both, Aries, because every number from 1 to 12 can be a plural, but you can't, because you're not a plural, Aries. You're a singularity, and you're a singular first half, which is not the second half. So you will not be able to be both. It's also why you'll be blamed, because since they can do it, they'll also expect you to do it when they say to you, Aries, if we can do it, why can't you do it? Aries, if we can do it, why can't you do it? Aries, why don't you cooperate with us and work with us since we're working with you? Well, I'd love to be able to do that if I could work with you, but I don't even know I can't work with you. I actually think I can. If I knew the truth that I can't work with you unless I'm working with just you and not me, then when I'm working with you, I'm not working with me. I don't have me when I have you. It'll be just you. So I won't be able to work with you unless I'm working with you only, and it won't be working with me at all. Which means if I want to work with myself, I won't allow myself to work with you at all, because I want to work with me at least somewhat. And I don't even know I can only work with me or not. I could also work with you or not. I don't even know if I'm working with you, I'm not working with me, because of the fact of it is true or not. I can't be working with you and me at the same time because I'm not plural and I'm not a plurality. And since you can, and you look me in the eye and tell me, Aries, what's wrong with you? How come you can't work with us and be like us and cooperate with us, Aries, and be part of this world and get along with us? Because I'm not with you. I'm me by myself and only with me, or I lose me and then I don't even have me anymore. That's when I have you. And then I'm mad at you for it, and it is your fault. How come I can't have me, but I have to have you? Well, Aries, if we knew any of this, we wouldn't be so mad at you. Well, how do I know that? Maybe you do know it, and you're just not sharing it. Well, Aries, then you're calling us bad and evil, like we know your problem, but we're not going to fix it? If you do know my problem and you're not even telling me my problem, how could I fix it or understand it? And I will blame myself, and I should blame you, since it is your fault, and not my fault, actually. Aries, if you actually understood it wasn't your fault, you would blame us. I am blaming you because I do understand it is your fault. And it is not my fault that I'm me. I want to be me. The fact that I can't be you too, unless I get rid of me, well, that's not my fault that I could be me only. You could be me and you. So do it. So don't tell me to do it. I can't do it. Aries, if what you're saying is true, then we would have to all feel really stupid, wouldn't we? Yes, you would. You are really stupid. And you make me feel really stupid and like it's my fault. And I do feel really stupid. And I do blame myself. And it's all your fault, actually. So it is your fault, actually. And I should blame you, actually, if I actually know. But if you actually know, Aries, you will blame us. That's why we don't want you to actually know. But if I actually don't know, I'll blame you and be even more unfair with alcohol and everything. So I'm actually worse and more unfair when I don't know, because I'll still blame you. And now I won't need a reason or rationality. Yeah, but Aries, we already are not telling you anything. I know. So I hope you don't know, because if you are actually just hiding it from me and not sharing this with me, then not only are you in big trouble, but I'm in big trouble. And I already know I'm in big trouble. I've been in big trouble my whole life with no understanding ever. Aries, you have a right to exist and to live and to be alive and well, healthy. And anybody that thinks otherwise, Aries, is only blaming you for the fact that you might be already or dare to think you should be. Aries, if they're going to look at you as being wrong for being who you are, it's because they're not allowing you to be who you are. In fact, they forbid you to be who you are. And they didn't tell you that, Aries, which makes you feel so wrong and bad yourself that you actually blame yourself. You have suicidal thoughts. You have self-hatred. You give up too easily. You ultimately regret everything. You don't look forward to the future or have any hopes, Aries. You struggle constantly with self problems in every way because you don't put all the blame on the world, Aries. You put it all on yourself, having no understanding that it actually is not your fault. None of it. It's all the world's fault, actually, and they're to blame. So if the world's at fault, Aries, and they're ignorant of the truth, don't you think they should want to know what it is? And if they don't want to know what it is it that they already do know and they want it to be the way it is? If that's true, Aries, then understand that not only is the world going to be punished by God forever, that all the world's conflict and disease and plague and all the things that are hurting, all the war that's happening forever, don't think it'll stop, Aries. And don't think it's not your fault. It certainly has everything to do with you. Why the world's in conflict and will war and have trouble and blame itself and each other, and every strife and suffering of the soul has everything to do with you, Aries. But it's not your fault, Aries. At least not anymore. Not since you died a long time ago and have been dead over and over again and still dying over and over again while you're alive over and over again. It's really not fair that you have to live in self-hatred, blaming yourself, hating yourself. When you don't blame the world and you don't hate the world, Aries. Aries, it's better that you should hate the world and punish it with God than that you should be ignorant and not punish anybody but yourself. Because you do punish yourself and you will do it. So don't think you're not punishing somebody, and you do take it out on yourself. And especially because you don't understand, you will take it out on yourself and blame yourself. Aries, if you understood, you would not only not blame yourself, but you wouldn't blame the world either. Because you would know that it certainly is the world's fault, and they may be ignorant and they don't know any of this information, and then they truly can be forgiven. And if they do know this information and they're actually keeping it suppressed and from being shared, then they are cursed. And God and Satan and the devil are going to punish their ass and give them death and struggle and strife and life after life and death after death and breath after breath until there is no breath. And a new life and a new breath. They'll do it again and they'll suffer forever, Aries. It's truly going to be your fault when you see it. Because you're going to say, because of me, everything's going wrong. Yes, but it's not your fault, Aries. It's the world's fault for actually excluding you, making you illegal and an outlaw, also calling you nothing more than you should be dead. Is Satan and the devil beyond any help, Aries? You devil. You beast. Angry beast. Well, I'm not a beast. Well, certainly don't tell me you're not when you're as angry as you are. Well, what am I so mad about? That you have no understanding and your feeling is so mad and frustration and anger that you have no understanding, that you at least want some understanding. If you had the understanding, you could actually forgive the world. But if you actually had the understanding, Aries, you wouldn't forgive them if you understood. You'd actually realize why they're actually to blame. The fact they won't even try to fix it, Aries, or they don't want to fix it, is bad enough. If they're ignorant, how could they fix it? If they actually know, Aries, and they're not going to tell you about it because they don't want it fixed, then they are the evil ones and not you. And that's why they'll have to die for everything they're doing to you. And they'll expect you to die and you to kill yourself because they don't want to have to even bother killing you. But they already look at you as a bad devil or demon or Satan. So understand why you are, because your understanding, you have no understanding, Aries. That the evil, bad entities which attack this world and punish it are doing it for a reason, a good reason. That in fact, they're so mad at this world for doing what they've done to you, Aries, and blamed you for it and made you blame yourself for it, expecting you to blame yourself for it, watching you kill yourself. They don't even mind at all. In fact, they expect it. And they don't think it's their fault because they look at you as a devil or a demon dog or some demonic singularity, which is overly possessive and alcoholic and wrong. Just because you have been and will be. Mostly when you're wrong, Aries, it's because you have no understanding and you're mad about the fact you have no understanding. You also are aware the world has no understanding or it's hiding it from you. And that makes you more mad that you don't understand it. Especially wondering if you should hate the world because it's not sharing information or because it actually is ignorant. And then why shouldn't you forgive it if it actually would be willing to fix it if it knew? And if it doesn't know, it needs to know. If it does know, it needs to be destroyed for not wanting to fix it. And allowing it to destroy itself over and over forever is not a fix. Conflicts and wars happen, Aries, because of the same problem that's not being fixed forever. Aries, we don't have fights and wars and conflicts and plagues and sickness and cancer and disease and deaths and short lives with ailments and every kind of strife and conflict and soul suffering because of another reason we're being all punished, Aries. And it has everything to do with you. Because it's truly not your fault, Aries, that you're who you are. This half that's not that half, unless I'm only that half and mad about it. And then I will be Satan and the devil saying, how come I have to do that? I didn't want to be Satan or the devil. Why do I have to do that? Because that makes me mad. Well, I know, but Aries, is it your fault that you have to be that? You have to be evil and like it? You don't have to be evil and like it, Aries. You could be evil and not like it. But you better be evil still. Okay, wait a minute. You're telling me I'm supposed to be evil? I'm saying you are evil, Aries, you beast, you demonic half that's not that half, unless it's forced to be that half, and then blaming the world. So understand, Aries, is it your fault? No, it's not. So Aries, what are you going to do with all your hatred inside that's coming straight from hell? Call it yours? It's not yours, not exclusively. It's a matter of what's inside you is mad. And it's coming out, whether it comes out of you or through another way. Aries, I want you to be strong as you can. I want you to know that you have a life that's worth being alive and worth living. I want you to know that you're special, Aries, that you're strong and special and a person that's actually important and somebody that's good and not bad. And so I want you to be aware, Aries, whether or not you feel special or okay. I want you to know you are to me. You're important to me. And I think you're okay. And I love you. And I care about you. And I will not punish this world and make them suffer bad for what they're doing to you and what they've done to you. I will not allow them to be forgiven nor to escape any massive punishment. I will only increase and intensify my absolute anger and rage at them. And I will punish them, Aries, forever because of you and what they're doing to you. It's more so because of what you're doing to yourself, Aries, that in fact, you're so busy punishing yourself and not punishing the world. It's why I'm so goddamn angry at the world and not you. Because I don't want to see you be doing it still. You're not even willing to blame them. You're blaming yourself. It's not right. It's not fair. It's not acceptable that all you're doing is killing yourself over and over and blaming yourself over and over and not blaming them, although they like it. It makes them feel just fine that you could live in some suffering alone forever, in some tortured state of suffering. It doesn't bother them, Aries, that you're suffering over and over. They don't even know, in many cases, what's going on in your head. Only you will. You have a choice, Aries, to blame them and not yourself. Or you can choose to blame yourself and not blame them. Or you could blame both yourself and them, punish yourself and punish them, or just blame yourself and blame them and don't punish yourself or punish them. Just feel punished by them. Or why shouldn't you punish yourself and just blame yourself and punish yourself? Because what the hell? You're not blaming them. You should. Where are you going to vent your anger at, Aries? Who are you going to vent your anger out to? How are you going to express your soul, compassionate madness that's coming out of you, guaranteed? And every person alive that's ever born in Aries or the month of March again, don't tell me they're going to keep you dead. And don't tell me they're going to be able to stop you, because you will always come back in some new person and do the same thing over and over. And you won't stop forever, and it'll always happen. And if you don't know what's really going on, Aries, you certainly will feel a rage, anger, and blame the world, and you will be unfair and evil itself. And I'm going to tell you, Aries, if it is such a sad state of affairs that you are so ignorant that you're going to be evil and actually be okay with it, then it's because you're so ignorant that you're actually going to accept that you're evil and okay with it. And how sad is that, Aries? That you're actually going to be okay with being evil because you're actually okay with the fact you're ignorant and never going to know, and you already feel that and are aware of it. There's nothing more than enragement and anger in you. It wants vengeance and it wants revenge. It's not wrong, Aries. It's perfectly valid feelings that it's having. It's certainly going to be coming out in some form through you, or in some other form through someone else, or through God himself. Aries, the world's going to be having a lot of problems until it decides to help you. Help yourself. You won't want to help yourself, Aries, until the world starts to want to help you. And if you're aware of that, you'll blame them for not wanting to help you. So good for you, Aries. No matter what you do, I'm not going to blame you, Aries. No matter how bad this world gets, no matter how many wars and conflicts there are, Aries, and no matter how intense it gets, and how it could get much worse, and it won't bother me much, Aries, because I'm already going to punish this world forever for what it's doing. Refusing to learn its lesson, refusing to see the truth, refusing to share information, refusing to want to fix it at all. Aries, vain men rule this world, and they're allowed to, because there's no such thing as a qualified King of Kings who's allowed to be qualified. King of Kings are not allowed to be qualified. They're disqualified for being kings of kings. In this world, vain men who are not kings rule as kings. It's what makes this world so punishable by death, is that it's actually understood to be the way it is, that I won't be qualified for my position if I get it. And if I am qualified, I don't get it. And that's the rule. So this is the rule, Aries. Plague, disease, conflict, warfare, human suffering, forever. And I want you to know, Aries, you can't blame yourself if you make me happy, because I'm pissed off enough that you'll blame yourself and kill yourself over this. I want you to blame the world and hate them. It's better that you hate them and blame them, because they do deserve to be blamed. It's much better that you at least blame them than blame yourself when you're not at fault, Aries. They are. They don't care if you live or die, and they certainly don't even want you to live. So understand, Aries, they might even be trying to hurry you to your death and hoping you'll do it so they don't have to. Aries, the world will suffer bad for what it's doing. You've already suffered bad forever for what you're doing. There's no peace for you forever. But I promise you there won't be peace for them forever either. I guarantee it. And I'll make them suffer much worse than you, Aries, because they deserve to suffer much worse than you. And you don't deserve to continue to suffer, but you will. Because until they agree to help you, Aries, and try to help you, and until they make it a genuine concern to want to help you, you don't want to help yourself. It makes it their fault that they don't want to help you. It'll also be why you'll blame them, because unless they decide to want to help you, Aries, you won't want to help you. They already know this, Aries, and they're not going to care to fix it. And they might laugh in your face or behind your back saying he's an idiot. I don't want to help him, and he doesn't even like himself because I don't like him. So what do I care? Well, you can decide to like him, and maybe he will like himself. But because he'll hate himself because you won't like him, I'm going to blame you. And that's why I hate you, and you'll suffer. And I will punish you, not him. Okay, so who said that? Satan said that. The devil said that. And don't forget it.